As a new creator on YouTube, you're often left feeling like you're getting no reward for what you're putting in. So you're putting a lot of effort into these videos and no one's watching. You're not getting the views, you're not getting comments, you're not seeing your channel grow. And that's where I was up until a few months ago. Wasn't really getting anywhere. I didn't really feel like I was getting much out of it, and I thought about quitting multiple times. But then things started to change, and recently I hit 1,000 subscribers. And in this video, I want to talk about the things that I have learned, which had I known at the beginning, I think I could have gotten there a lot quicker. And I'm hoping that will help you. Okay, so the first thing that I learned was that invisible phase that we go through is actually perfectly normal. With the small exception of channels that actually blow up overnight with their first video, and I have seen it happen, the vast majority of us don't. The vast majority of us do go through that invisible phase where we are putting all this time into making videos and putting them out there on YouTube and getting very little in terms of views. And it can feel quite disheartening, especially in the beginning when this is all new and you're kind of learning as you go. Things take a bit longer. So it's a huge investment of your time and you're getting nothing back for it. And I felt exactly the same way. And it does make you feel like, oh, maybe people just don't want to watch my videos. Maybe I should just quit. I should just throw in the towel. This isn't for me. And I had those feelings multiple times, but the truth is, it is normal. When you first start, YouTube knows nothing about you or your channel. And it prides itself on putting the right videos in front of the right people. So it looks at people's previous watch history and then pairs those viewers with videos that they think they're going to like. Because the whole point is that they want people to be on the platform for as long as possible. The way to ensure that is to make sure that you're putting the right videos for them on their screen. So when you start, you've got no history to give YouTube that confidence. So if you publish your first video, it's just going to put it out speculatively in front of a few people. And then only a small percentage of those few people are actually going to click on the video. So it is actually pretty normal when you think about it that your first few videos, you might only get 1 or 2 views, 10 views if you're lucky. And yeah, it's quite soul destroying because you've probably put a lot of effort into that video. But it's true for most. You are not alone if that's what you are going through at the moment, if that's what you're experiencing. Where the payoff comes is from just continually showing up. Sticking with whatever topic or theme that your videos are going to be. Hopefully have identified that you're going to be making videos on a particular topic and that suits a particular type of audience. And by consistently doing that over time, then that's when the payoff comes. That's when YouTube builds that trust and it's going to start to test your videos on larger and larger pools of people. So had I known that and understood that from the very beginning, I wouldn't have spent as much time kind of thinking about how can I change things, or I'd have just stuck with it and just kept going, and I'd have probably started to see results far sooner, because instead I was looking at one video not performing and thinking, okay, I have to change something, then I have to do something else, and that was probably just confusing YouTube. Instead, if I'd known what I know now, I would have just stuck to my guns and just not worried about the low views, just accepted that that is the case and just powered through it. And that is what you'll get the payoff from. It's just powering through, ignoring that invisible phase, understanding that it is normal for the majority of channels, and just powering through anyway. Okay, the second thing that I have learned on my journey to 1,000 subscribers is to think like your viewer. Think like who the person is that is going to want to watch your videos. So to start with, I thought you just pick a niche and then you drum up some ideas and then you start talking to the camera. But what I was doing in the early phase was I wasn't actually stopping and thinking, okay, who is my ideal viewer? What are they looking for from YouTube? Most people come to YouTube because they're looking for solutions to problems. They're looking for answers to questions, or they're looking to be informed about something. So what is my ideal viewer? Who are they? And what are they looking for? What are they going to type into YouTube when they're searching for videos? What are they expecting to see on their browse section? What types of videos are they going to feel compelled to click on? Once I started thinking that way rather than just guessing, then I started to see some real shift, because actually thinking like your viewer and thinking, what if I was the person looking for this video, what would make me click on this? So, what title would make me want to click on that over something else? What am I expecting to get to take away from a video? Because that's the thing, right? Every video, there should be a takeaway. There should be a payoff for the viewer as a reward for clicking on that video. So think about your viewer. What are they going to get from the video? If the answer's not much, then that's probably not a video that you should be making. So it sounds really obvious, but once you start thinking about it from your viewer's perspective, that's when you start to see a shift, because you start to make videos that they actually would want to watch, that's actually going to give them some kind of payoff for clicking on it. So had I known that from the beginning, I think I'd have seen growth a lot faster than what I did. Okay, so the third thing is to accept from the beginning that your early videos are not going to be great. When I started, I was really nervous on camera. I was stumbling over my words all the time. I would constantly be kind of stopping and starting, have to try and edit all those bits out. I thought that I needed to have, like a sort of professional grade studio in order for people to take me seriously as a YouTuber. But none of that was true. My best videos actually came from this setting, just with a smartphone and a cheap microphone standing in a field. And just, not using scripts, not worrying about whether I stumbled over my words. If I'd known that from the beginning and not obsessed over trying to be perfect, I would have probably started a lot sooner, because I'd have just accepted that, look, yeah, you're going to be nervous when you first start talking to the camera. You're going to look a little bit awkward, and that's actually okay. But to start with, I thought that, no, I have to be word perfect. If I make mistakes, I have to stop and start again. And, that led to frustration, and some videos you would just kind of give up on it completely because you thought you made a complete mess of it. But what I learned was that people actually appreciate that kind of rawness of your videos, that authenticity. We're coming into this age of AI where we get all this extremely polished content that doesn't feel real. And I think that people are now really wanting to put their trust in people that are authentic, that are a human talking to another human. Being a little bit rough around the edges in your video, making mistakes, that's actually okay. So if you're thinking about starting, or if you have started and you're watching those first few videos back and you feel horrible because you think, oh, I don't like how I look or sound on camera and all this stuff, it's normal and it doesn't matter. What matters is what is the content of your video. If that video is giving value to the viewer, then they're going to be willing to forget about the little mistakes that you make here and there, or the fact that you are that little bit nervous, or that your audio is not amazing. So don't feel like you have to be perfectly polished on camera before you start. Just keep recording, keep publishing videos, and that stuff improves with time. But the one sure way to not grow is to have no videos published. You're better in those first 10 to 20 videos to just keep going, accept that they're not going to be your best, but remember that you will improve. You will get better with time. So the fourth thing that I learned that I wish I'd known right from the beginning was that actually you do not have to publish religiously every single week. What I mean by that is, when I first started, I watched a lot of people advising on how to grow a YouTube channel, and they said you have to publish at least one video a week, ideally 2 or 3. You should be publishing at the same time every week as well. And that's what I took to be consistent on YouTube. And all that did was put myself under unnecessary pressure. I've got a busy life, I've got a full-time job, I've got a young family. You probably do too. You're probably trying to build this YouTube channel on the side of what is an already busy life. And having that extra layer of pressure to say that I have to have a video published by this time on this day, it just starts to become stressful, and it kind of sucks the joy out of the process of making YouTube videos. I quickly learned that you don't have to do that. You can you can publish at whatever time you want. It doesn't really matter. What does matter is that you're consistently making videos for a specific audience. So it comes back to my earlier point in this video, is making videos that your ideal audience wants to see. That's what the consistency is about. And, you know, yes, ideally, if you can publish even just one video per week, it doesn't have to be a set day or set time, but even just one video per week, that is going to build up that trust in YouTube that you're going to regularly show up. But what I will say as well is that even not publishing at a specific time, even just the kind of commitment of publishing one video per week, if you can do that, that's great. And I think in the early stages, it's probably helps to do that. But eventually, once you've kind of shown YouTube, look, I'm taking this seriously. I've done, say, 20 videos in the last 20 weeks. So, I should be taken seriously here. If you have a week where either, life gets in the way and you just can't find the time to make that video, or let's say you've just been struggling for ideas, you're not feeling inspired, and you just don't feel it. You just don't feel like making that video. Don't be afraid to just skip that week. Skip 2 weeks if you have to. That's something I learned. There was weeks where I felt like, I really have to get a video out because I want to keep publishing every week. And I would end up making videos that I just wasn't happy with. I hadn't had the time to properly think them through, and I didn't really believe in the video that I was making. And that lack of belief in what I was making came across in camera. I wasn't saying things with conviction. And as a result, those videos didn't do very well. So sometimes it might actually be better to have no video than just having a video for the sake of it. So yeah, just don't feel the pressure to have to record and publish every single week. Look, we're all busy and sometimes life gets in the way. YouTube is not going to punish you for skipping a week. It's not going to put you back to starting from scratch. It's not going to forget about you. And you should just remember that, because YouTube should be fun, right? Maybe we want to try and grow our channels for businesses or whatever it might be, but you want to enjoy the process. If you are having, a hard time of things and you just don't feel like doing it that week, that's okay. And that's a valuable lesson that I've taken from my first year. Okay, the fifth thing that I've learned on this route to 1,000 subscribers is that it's surprisingly quick how comfortable you become talking to the camera. So when I first started on YouTube, I was really nervous, really stiff and kind of wooden, and it was really horrible to watch back. And you've probably found that as well. We are nervous. It's not natural talking to a camera lens. And often we don't like how we look on camera. We don't like how we sound on camera. But actually, that's true for everybody. Pretty much everyone isn't used to seeing themselves and hearing themselves outside of their own body, if that makes sense. So those first few videos, especially when you're editing them back, it feels a bit awkward, and sometimes that puts people off. You might be feeling that right now as well. But what I can assure you is that the more you do this, the more reps that you put in, the more comfortable you become. Like if you watch my first couple of videos that are less than a year old to now, you'll see that my confidence speaking to the camera is way better than it used to be. So all I would say to someone who's starting out or has just recently started and is still experiencing that awkwardness is that you just have to keep powering through that. You will eventually get more confident on camera, and you'll get used to hearing yourself and seeing yourself back. And then it kind of makes that awkwardness go away. So it doesn't feel like it. Like when you first start, like when I first started, I thought, God, I'm never going to feel natural doing this. But it's remarkable how quickly you get used to it. Okay, I hope you took something from that video. If you're just started or if you're thinking about starting, let me know in the comments how you're getting on. I'd love to hear from you, and let me know which of these things you resonated with the most. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you a link to this video up here, which I think you might enjoy. I'll see you over there.